When you have your Kundalini awakening, you will start to have downloads of information. And I know this might sound strange, but all it means is that you get thoughts and ideas that still sound like you, they still feel like you. It's just they kind of come out of nowhere, like out of the blue, and you don't really know what brought on those thoughts. And it can actually feel really inspirational and magical. It's like these thoughts and downloads of information are guiding you in the right direction to find out where it is that you're meant to go next, what your path is, and they kind of keep you on track. And so it's really important to listen, to quieten down and think, what is this thought trying to tell me? And when you look it up, it's also important to listen to what resonates with you, because not everything that you read will necessarily be the truth for you. And so when you search the information, take it on board, read it through, but then only take the bits that actually feel like it's a message for you. So one of the main things for me that stood out was actually the term hara. Well, actually, I come from a non spiritual background. I wasn't brought up religious or anything, and so a lot of the terms that I now know, I didn't know before. I didn't even know what Kundalini meant. I'd never heard of it in my life before. And so I, in this early days, started to get this information of things that I should search. And so I gradually went, oh, so that's what happened to me, or this is why that's happening, or I'm having these symptoms because of this. And I actually learned about the term hara. Now, hara is actually part of Reiki, but when I first had my Kundalini awakening, I had it through receiving Reiki as a client, but at that point I wasn't a Reiki master. And so part of your training, depending on who you go to have Reiki with, is that they will teach you potentially about the three diamonds, which is your hara, which is your lower abdomen, your heart, and your third eye. And those were the three areas that were activated during my Kundalini awakening. And I didn't know the terms to use. All I knew was that the feeling of my Kundalini awakening, when it rose, came from my lower abdomen. And so, I found out the term Kundalini, but I was like, something just still doesn't feel 100%. It is definitely Kundalini. All the symptoms are there, but the method in which I had my awakening is different from a lot of the ones that are out there, or at least the ones that come up on Google or other searches, the ones that are predominantly put out there, the most popular ones, the ones that most people search for. And so, but I came across the term hara just randomly, it came into my head. And then I found a book on it, and then I was reading about it, and I was like, this makes so much sense. And then I learned about how the hara is so important in Japanese tradition and their spirituality, and they believe that our spirits actually are, our spiritual selves are within our haras. That is where our spirit energy is. And so it made so much sense that when I had my Kundalini awakening, it came from the hara. But I would only have known that from these downloads of information. And then there was other random stuff here and there. I had one where I felt compelled to search something, which led me to find out about the term Lemuria, which I don't know too much about, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. But then I had a dream about lemurs, which was so vivid, and I remember it still to today. And then when I'd gone to search more about Lemuria, it turns out the reason that they only even knew that Lemuria existed as a place was because land was connected in a certain way, was because lemurs were found in different areas, which meant that originally the land had been connected, or something along those lines. And so I did dabble a little bit with this thought of Lemuria, what's that got to do with what's happening to me? And it actually gave me some inspiration and thoughts about how I live my life in a very positive way. But I wouldn't say I went down any rabbit holes or anything with the Lemuria thing. I don't know too much about it. So I felt like I took the bits of information that were relevant to me and then learned from it, but I don't feel that the thing I was meant to learn about was specifically about Lemuria. But it's amazing how, like, even just when you search one thing, it then leads you to the other thing, to another thing. And it's like if you had never had the initial thought, you would never have searched all those different things to get to where you are today. It's honestly so interesting to have these thoughts. And where do they come from? Is it our higher selves? Is it our spirit guides? I think it's a mixture of both, and I think that both our higher selves and our spirit guides are trying to keep us on track by feeding us little bits of information and kind of going, why don't you search this, or have a look at that? And it's so helpful. But if you would like to have a Kundalini awakening or you want to know more about them, do reach out. I do have a Kundalini activation program which does actually involve the 3 diamonds, which is your Hara, your heart, and your third eye. And what we do is awaken, cleanse and open those energy centers, so the 3 diamonds. And then what we do is we set an intention for you to have a Kundalini awakening, and then you will also start to have downloads of information, your spiritual gifts will start to come to you, and your purpose in life will start to make more sense, and you'll start to know what your path is. But yeah, just reach out anytime, and I look forward to catching you on the next video. Bye!